Yeah, definitely in the not happy camp this week. And someone I just mentioned who, this might be the quickest hot seat ever because, like I said, he might be out of my team by selection tonight. But
hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Footy GameDay Squad show. I am Tom and I'm joined by only Callum today. What is up, brother? How you going?
mate, I'm doing well. Sad, like you said, Kerm isn't here again. But you and me, I'm really excited. Round 19 of GameDay Squad. So let's get into it, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this show because this week we don't have Kerm's weekly news, which I rely on so heavily. So that is very sad. So make sure you're up to date with the ins and the outs for this week for the round of 19. But we can go straight into Pack of the Week. And as you know, I love this segment because we can give back to our community and people who submit their packs weekly. And this week I've chosen Dacos for the winner. He narrowly edged out Parlo, who's been a regular appearance on this show. Both of these people actually. So just credit to both of you for always jumping in every week, sending your packs because we love to see them. But have a look at the pack, Callum. This pack is pretty
stacked. Good. That is stacked. My eyes straight away went to my boy Travis Boak, but Cornelio, Cumming, Diamond Parfit, and not to mention, is that a Sloan there I can see as well? That's a pretty good pack.
Sloan.
Is it? Yeah, that's a pretty good pack. Congrats, Dacos there. Another few more packs coming your way. But yeah, like you said, super easy to get involved. You can submit your weekly packs, your bronze packs that you get for free each week or any other pack that you have. So yeah, make sure you are doing that. Best place, I know everyone's doing it, is on their Discord. But yeah, it's good to see. Makes me very jealous when I see a pack like that though, because my luck hasn't been that good.
Oh, tell me about it. And if you don't know where our Discord is, just go down below, check the link in the description. It'll take you straight there. Or alternatively, go to any of our social media platforms and just send us a DM there of your pack and you'll be in the running to win Pack of the Week next week. So shout out to you guys for tuning in with it. And I can't wait to see your submissions for next week. But let's get into another segment here, which is our question of the round, where we have a look at some players and we ponder what is going to happen. Maybe good, maybe bad. But Callum, did you want to start it off this week with your question?
Yeah, I'm happy to. My question this week is very simple. It's, can we see the return of the form for Tim English? So he actually had his lowest score of the season by some distance. So he scored 61 points on the weekend. Get this, that is 48 points lower than his second worst score for the season, and his only game therefore under 100 for the whole year. So he's been absolutely cooking. So it was really strange to see him see that. Now why I've asked this again is because he's up against Melbourne this week, so the duo of Max Gawn and Luke Jackson. So big question mark if he's the right guy for the ruck this week. I'd feel pretty confident putting him back in next week, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to roll with it this week. So that's my question of the round.
What a great question. And just out of interest, have you got any substitutes for him? Is there anyone you're thinking about putting in over him, or have you going to just have to stick with your guns?
My ruck stocks are pretty limited, so my backup would be a Luke Jackson. But so I've got a gold English and then a silver Jackson. So I'm on the fence. It's a tough one, and it's always a tough one when they're playing each other because you don't feel good about either of them. Hey, so yeah, that's for me. But absolutely. What have you got? What have you got this week? What's your question?
Yeah, mate, let me get into it. So for me, Zac Fisher's been a player that's been on my radar for a while here, and he's becoming the Blues' most fantasy viable forward for the season. With this success of Corno and Mackay as well, having an off year, Zac Fisher just seems to get a lot more ball and a lot more usage in that forward line, which is helping his fantasy production a lot. Over his past 4 contests, he has hit triple-digit scoring in 3 of the 4. I believe he's the most viable option, but I want him to prove that again for me this week by extending his triple-digit scoring streak to 4 games in a row. So that's my question of the round. Quick sneak peek. Maybe he's in the team, and that's why I'm asking for it.
Yeah. Nice. Do they have the Giants this week, Carlton? I think they if I've got that right. So, yeah, I know people have been eating against the Giants. I went heavy on my team last week, picked a whole bunch of Lions players, just thinking that the Giants would roll over. But, yeah, I'm looking at it here. They do have the Giants, so I like that one. That's a question. I think that'll come through. He will be a viable player this week because, yeah, he'll eat.
Well, I love to hear that. But let's get straight into our teams then, because I've made some huge changes. I had a sneak peek for everyone listening on the review show. Yeah, I was going to make some radical changes. I have done that. So let me take it away because I'm very excited for this week.
You haven't been telling me these all week. You've been telling me it's coming. So you've set the bar high for yourself now. So I'm as interested as anyone else to actually hear what you've gone and done. So take me through it. I can see your team here, but talk me through your changes.
Absolutely. All right. So we're 12 mil out of 12 mil on the cap, on the dot, which means we can't make any upgrades in any positions. The only thing we could do is downgrade, but that is not needed this week. I'm having a look at my team. So I've downgraded my gold Mitch Duncan into a bronze in my forward line to help free up some salary cap. Let me go through my outs. James Ash Silver, out. Noah Anderson Silver, out. Stephen Canelio, gold, out. Luke Jackson, bronze, out. Bailey Banfield, bronze, out. And Lewis Young, bronze, all out.
Jesus, you've swapped half your team.
I know, but this is what you have to do to make space for now my highest graded player on my team in the midfield, Zac Merrett, his platinum card. I am so excited that I even have a platinum in my team. It felt like at the start of the year that was nearly going to be impossible. It is now possible. I have a platinum in my midfield. And if you have a look at the midfield there, it's looking pretty juicy. It's very well rounded. But my other inclusions are going to be Peter Wright in the ruck as a bronze.
I was going to say, he's the star in your midfield there. It lights up your screen more than any of the other cards there. So, yeah, putting a lot of faith in him. I like that. It's such a good strategy where if you've got a gun player, this is where you use it. But like you've said, it's so risky because if he has a stinker, you've just downgraded everyone for that. And I think it's just worth pointing out, this is only the first year of GameDay Squad, and the rules are going to be a little bit different next year. We're going to have a limited number of substitutions each week. So you're not going to be able to do this next year, so make the most of it while you can. Sorry, you were saying Peter Wright's come into your ruck spot this week.
Yep, so he's replacing Luke Jackson. I've got Christian Petrarca, a bronze card in the midfield, Jack Graham Silver into the team, Stephen May Silver into the team, and Aaron Hall Silver back into the team. But that's pending if he's playing. So I do have a substitution for him. It'll be Robbie Fox, a silver card from the Sydney Swans, who is in not bad form himself over the past couple of weeks. So a bit of a tough decision to make. But yeah, that is the team. It is looking very different, but I am very excited and happy about my changes.
You're going to look like a genius if it comes off. But yeah, a lot of changes there. Luke Jackson out of the ruck spot is an interesting one. I know we just spoke about how he's got that tough matchup against the Dogs this week in Timmy English. So I'm riding that Bombers train that they seem to be doing so well at the moment there. And I think if you've got Sam Draper on the bench beside him, that you would probably
exactly
toss
right.
Up between.
Yeah, I got the double Essendon combo in there, mate. You got that right. But take me through your changes this week. Do we have many? You had quite a good week last week.
I did. I bounced back after a bit of a shocking start to my GDS career. The big one for me, being in the open comp, I don't have to worry about salary cap at the moment, so I'm just going to play the best team that I can. Tonight, I'm going to wait to see if Lachie Whitfield gets named. He's my prized asset, my diamond card. And if he's back, then Nathan Broad's gone. He had a shocker last week. He had 51, worst performance in quite some time. So I'm hoping Whitfield's back, so that's a nice, easy decision for me there. I'm actually in the midfield. I'm making a big call, and I've got burned every time I've gone for a player tier over an actual player that I value more. And this week I'm not gonna. I'm gonna change it up, and I'm actually gonna drop my platinum Tom Green for a silver Christian Petrarca. I think I said on the review show that I'm not liking the way the Giants are going, even though I'd have Whitfield back because he's just too good for me not to have. I'm going to get rid of him, so he's my big out in that midfield. Mitch Lewis, I actually got an upgrade in one of my packs this week, my rewards pack. So I had a gold version of Mitch Lewis, and now, thanks to that new pack, I've got a platinum version. So that was a nice little upgrade for me. And Josh Battle from the Saints has been in sneaky good form of late. So he finds himself into my team. I didn't want to keep Joey Danaher for more than a week, and I haven't. So yeah, they're my few changes to my squad this week that hopefully keeps me climbing up the top 10, because as you can see there, I'm right on 10th. We have seasonal prizes for the top 10. We haven't actually announced what they're going to be, but trust me, you want to be in the top 10 because 11th is the same as 111th. So yeah, that's the goal that everyone should be aiming for. But yeah, that's my squad for the week.
Yeah, I love your call on Joey Danaher there. Coming back off injury, he hasn't felt or seen like himself over the past couple of games, but I reckon he'd be knocking on the door quite soon for you. But some great changes in there. I can't wait to see how your team performs in round 19. Guys, it is time to reflect and pull players accountable in the league. This is our segment, The Hot Seat, where we can sit them in the hot seat and talk about some of the form they have been in, and maybe we're happy, but most likely not happy with it. Callum, take it away this week. Who are you nominating to be your hot seat selection?
Yeah, definitely in the not happy camp this week. And someone I just mentioned who, this might be the quickest hot seat ever because, like I said, he might be out of my team by selection tonight. But Nathan Broad, he's not heading in the right direction at the moment as a fantasy asset. He's 51 last week. He was 94 before that. And then he's only had 2 scores over 100 since round 9. So while his average is still quite high because of his hot start, he just hasn't been heading in the right direction. And that average is probably flattering him at the moment. So he is probably, if he's not out of a lot of people's teams, he'd definitely be in a lot of people's hot seats. So big night for the Tigers and himself against Freo. They've got the game tomorrow night, the big Friday night fixture. He needs a big game. Tigers need a big game to bounce back. So I can see it happening. He's a good player, but it's kind of now or never. Otherwise, I reckon he's going to be out of fantasy teams for the rest of the year.
Yeah, wow. And too right. It's fair enough putting him in the hot seat. But I'm going to pick a player from my Sydney Swans faithful. This week, I'm going with Dan Rampy. And a hot seat selection for him this week has a double meaning because he's coming off his best form of the season. But as a whole, this year has been disappointing for Dan Rampy. And on average right now, he's having his second worst fantasy year of his entire career. In saying that, he has some time to amend this if he continues to score like the way he did last round. So can Rampy keep his season alive and become a fantasy viable option heading towards the tail end of the year? Or will he continue to decline in fantasy production and eventually, like the same situation as your hot seat selection, just not be a player fantasy coaches can play anymore? So I want to see a bounce back from Dan Rampy this season.
I want to go a step further and actually say Rampy, this is probably ever. Like, that's it. If you had his card, we don't have buy, sell, hold in our shows anymore, but I'd be selling him. Get rid of Dane Rampy. Get rid of him because this is the apex of his value that he's going to get from here. I don't see it getting better for him. Soak it up if you've been playing him over the last month, but I'd be definitely looking to sell that on the transfer market if we had one up and running at the moment. So, which isn't too far away. Get excited, guys. But that's a good call.
Oh, I'm very excited. But I agree with you there. If I had a Dan Rampy right now, first of all, I wouldn't be playing him. Second of all, if we had the transfer market, he'd be on there straight away.
I'd have a few players on there. I have so many of my team I can't wait to get rid of. Hopefully someone is silly enough to buy them off me because there's a few duds I'd be trying to offload.
All right, let's get into the next part of the show here. And this is a segment where I've really ridden the highs and the lows of it. I felt good some weeks and other weeks I just want to avoid this segment just entirely. It is lock of the round. And what we
hang on.
And you're watching.
I was going to say, what's been the high of your year? You've been on the bottom since round 1. Tell me your high.
Hey. I went on a winning streak for a while there. I was feeling pretty good, but I thought I could come back and get you and catch you. I had some optimism. I was only one correct pick away from taking over you at second place there, but now you've opened up the gap a little bit on me again, which is upsetting. But I'm hoping with 5 to 6 weeks left that you pick some duds and I pick some studs. But let's get into it. If you don't know what we do here, we pick one fantasy player each week and lock them in for a certain amount of points. And if they get that, that gets added to our total. If they miss that, then unfortunately we get 0 points for that week. As you can see the leaderboard right now, Kerm has been quite dominant in this segment. He is on top, but he is only on top by about 80 points there, as you guys can see. So one correct pick and one good pick by Callum and one dud pick by Kerm will completely flip this and see Callum on the top. So heading into this week, Callum, I want to know which player you're going to pick in your strategy to try to get the first place spot there on the mountain.
Get my rightful spot on the throne back, hey? Well, I'll touch on how I went last week because I had Zac Merrett who blitzed it. He scored me 120 points, closed that gap on Kerm, who you said he picked Timmy English for 112, and he missed that. Like I said, Timmy English's worst game for the year. So fantastic luck that Kerm's gone and dudded that one up. But this week I have gone with Jack Steele. So like you said, Tom, we can't actually pick the same player twice. So I've been holding on to this bad boy for a time, and I've been eyeing up this West Coast fixture for some time as well for him. So I'm locking him in. I'm going for 120 points. He's been in some awesome form. Hot Boy Steele, I think, is going to get me back on top. So yeah, lock him in this week.
Wow. Okay. Well, hot off the press here, I've been sent Kerm's lock of the round selection. And as you covered before, Tim English had a stinker, so he didn't get his one from last week. This week, he's going with Darcy Cameron for 110 Game Day Squad fantasy points. Let's see. Jack Steele versus Darcy Cameron. I don't know who I would take in that race, but both of them could end up hitting it, and that's going to be really exciting to see and spicy for the next show.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Who'd you go?
Yeah, what do I do here? So I went Sam Doherty last week. I finally played my Sam Doherty card, and it missed. I only asked for 120 Game Day Squad fantasy points, and if you've seen the season he's been having this year, that is not very hard for him to get. So it's very unfortunate. I fell 5 points short as well, so very narrow out there. But I'm utilizing a new player in my lineup, and then I'm adding them to the lock of the round, which is something I did like 2 weeks ago with Rory Laird, and it works like a charm. And I think you know who I'm going, because if he gets the call up in the squad, he's getting the call up and lock of the round. It is Zac Merrett, Callum's pick from last week. I have his platinum card. I want him to get me 130 Game Day Squad fantasy points in this one. It is a big ask, but in the form that he's been in over the past 4 weeks, it is very achievable. So I'm excited for that.
In a vacuum, I like it. I obviously he did quite well for me, and he's in some serious hot form. Maybe second in terms of like behind Laird, right? So you've got the two most important players in the last 3 weeks. But what you've also done, you've also set yourself up where if Zac Merrett pulls out a stinker this week, he might soon become your least favourite player in the space of a week. If you've gone all in on your team, he's your last hope for your lock of the round. So yeah, you're playing a dangerous game. But hey, like I said, if you pull it off, you look like a genius. And yeah, big 130 points will start. If that one hits, you'll definitely make up some ground on us for sure. So yeah, no, I like it. And things are spicing up. 5 more weeks to go. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's not time to stink it up now. It's really time to get on a hot streak if you want to secure the top spot. I don't know if I can, but I'm trying to come for second, and hopefully someone can dud it up. But Callum, I reckon that's going to wrap us up there for another episode of the Footy Game Day Squad show. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We have fantasy content of reviews and previews for all the AFL rounds coming out every single week to try to help you guys get game day ready. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with this week, Hal?
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you as always. But just a quick shout out to our Twitter, Instagram, our Twitter page on a Friday. We actually do a promotion where we'll send out a trade, and it's like who won the trade, player A or player B, and we put up some fun things and get people commenting. And there's packs on offer for those who all you have to do is put a comment in, say who you think would win the trade, and you're all instantly eligible to win a pack. So get yourself involved if you're not following us on Twitter. Who doesn't love free packs? So good luck with your fantasy team. Hope everyone does well this weekend, but not as good as I do. So thank you as always.
Peace.